Hi, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you on behalf of Yero Training to this introductory session on program general methodology and fundamental concepts. This is going to establish for you the foundation of the terms and concepts we use in our training programs. Terms and concepts you are going to hear again and again from this program. And the terms and concepts that is going to help you remember the important things on this program. Sometimes these terms are not defined in the industry in a standard manner. Therefore, it is important for all participants or would-be participants to understand these terms so that they can gain the most from these programs. These fundamental concepts apply both to online training programs and also to instructor-led programs. If I were to say in one sentence what Yero Training does in its programs is it provides you practical skills to do your job better. So it provides you practical skills to do your jobs better. How do we do that? We do it by making these programs multidisciplinary in approach. There are multiple terms we can utilize. We can call it multidisciplinary approach, or we can call it by providing you a 360-degree understanding of the domain knowledge and processes and performance aspects that you need to be familiar with in order to do your work. We will explain this multidisciplinary aspect, a very important aspect for our programs. But first, let me talk a little bit about Yero Training itself and its generally philosophy. Yero Training has been conducting training programs and providing consultancy for since 1983, almost 40 years. The management of Yero Training has been involved in training since 1983, almost 40 years. Our training programs are practically skill oriented, which means whatever you learn is going to lead to job excellence from your side on your work. And how do we do that? We do it by incorporating multidisciplinary aspects into the program. Multidisciplinary aspects is the fact of life. Or in other words, any decision one has to make, whether at work or whether in life, requires multidisciplinary thinking. What do we mean by that? So probably it will be clear from an example. Let us say you are a civil engineer. You've just graduated as civil engineer. You learned about all aspects of civil engineering technology. You did the projects. You even went on site. You saw how the work was being done. Probably you got good grades. That's why you're working for a company that has sponsored you for this training program. But if you remember, or when you come to work and you are handed over an assignment, a civil engineering assignment, say for example, you have been given an assignment on a project, civil project. And let us say your assignment is a simple thing like building a concrete culvert under the road. A concrete culvert under the road. If you are familiar with that, culvert is probably a rectangular underpass under the roads, usually made so that drain water, storm water, surface runoff water, or other things can pass through from one side to the other side of the road. Now, when you want to construct this culvert, is it, if you knew all about civil engineering, would you be able to do that? Would you be able to execute a culvert project just based on civil engineering knowledge? The answer is not really. When you are faced with doing this work of constructing the culvert, you will face multiple concerns will come in front of you. Multiple aspects have to be considered. First is legal aspect. What is the legal aspect? Legal aspect is that if we are going to cut the road to build the culvert, then we have to follow the related laws and regulations of local authorities. So we have to get a permit from the local authorities. We might also have to consider what are the laws related to any underground structures that might be close to the road. For example, it is very common that on both sides of the road there are right of ways for electrical, water and other utilities. So we have to make sure that we follow the laws and regulations related to working close to these utilities. So that's the legal aspect. Then you may also have to consider contractual aspect. Contractual aspect means when you sign the contract with the owner of the project, which might be probably a government entity, to build the culvert, they might have put down requirements in the contract that this culvert, since it's going to disrupt traffic for a certain period of time, even though in a phased manner, you do it in a phased manner, this work of cutting or impacting the traffic should not last more than 3 weeks. Or in other words, you must finish this work within 3 weeks. So that will be a contractual requirement. If a requirement like that is there, then we have to make sure that we plan in such a manner that the work is for sure completed within 3 weeks. Otherwise, we might have to pay penalties or damages. Other contractual aspects may relate to approvals that might be required for working methods, for safety arrangements, for temporary protection, temporary drainage, that while the culvert is under construction, what happens to if there is a rain or water, or a sudden water needs to be sent from one side to the other side of the road. So that might be addressed in contractual aspects. So we have to consider contractual aspect. This may not have been covered probably as the main civil engineering curriculum. Then we must also consider safety aspect. We are going to build this culvert near a road. So we'll have to dig a trench, and that may pose safety issues. So we may have to make safety arrangements to make sure that while the trench is open, vehicles do not by mistake fall into the trench. We have to make sure that neighbors, the children playing in the neighborhood, if there are any, they do not by mistake come and fall in that excavation that we have done, or otherwise get injured. We also have to make sure that our own people working there on the site will follow safety and they will not get injured while the work is going on. And then there will be safety regulations related to the equipment also that is being utilized there. Another aspect or another discipline we have to consider is the quality aspect. Now, quality. Normally by quality, what one one understands is the specifications. But really, when we talk about quality in aero training programs, we would later on define this term quality as meaning customer satisfaction, or all the things that will lead to customer satisfaction. Specifications is one part of it for one customer. So we have to consider quality aspect, and we have to make sure that the work we are going to do is going to be quality work. It is not going to have, it is going to meet the expectations of not only our main customer, but also all the stakeholders, including the local community. Another discipline we have to consider is quality assurance. What does quality assurance mean? Quality assurance are all those things that we do. that will make sure that the work that is going to be produced is going to be of the right quality the first time. So quality assurance is preventive measures we take. Usually these preventive measures include testing, checking of the materials, procedures for doing the work, approved procedures for doing the work, and we make sure that people are following those procedures so that we know that the output is going to be as per planned. Another discipline we have to think about while we are thinking of making this culvert is think about the risk involved. Normally, when you are building any civil construction, you plan it. Planning involves breaking down the project into smaller parts, deciding what are the tasks to be done, what are the deliverables, what are the tasks, what are the resources required, how much manpower will be required, and so on. And then we lay out how much time it will take and we schedule it. But really, when we think about planning, we are thinking about what are the things we are going to do in the future. These plans are all about future because when you do the plan, after that you execute them. And what we know about plans is that nothing goes according to plan. Why it doesn't go according to plan? Because there are risks involved. There are risks. There's a risk, for example, that there could be rain while we are doing the construction. There's a risk that somebody who might be driving in a rash manner on the road may break through our safety arrangements and fall into the trench while the construction is going on. There's a risk that we could have an accident. One of our excavators breaks down, or other things. There are many risks that are possible. It could be human, it could be technical, it could be environmental, it could be related to the community, it could be a natural disaster or natural event. And one of the objectives, remember, our contractual objective was to complete this culvert within 3 weeks. So we have to do some amount of risk management to make sure that even if any of these things happen, we must have some arrangement, some mitigation plans to ensure that the culvert will still be completed on time or as close to time as possible. Then there are human aspects involved. What does human aspects mean? Which is also another discipline, human aspect. As a young engineer, you assume that anybody who has been given certain amounts of work or responsibilities on a project knows what he needs to do. We assume that he will be motivated, he will be knowledgeable, he will be careful, he will be diligent, he will be well rested when he comes to work, and so on. And he will work as a team. He will cooperate. But the reality is, from time to time, you'll have people who would not do some of those things. And then it becomes part of the job of completing the culvert is to manage those human aspects. Then there are other stakeholders who may have certain wants. These stakeholders could be neighbors or the community. They might have certain expectations in terms of the time of working that you are having, the dust that is being raised or that they must be prevented. There will be local authorities who would also have certain other expectations. The traffic department, they would have certain other expectations, and those expectations also need to be taken into account. Another discipline that we have to think about while we are doing this culvert is also think about the audit that might happen later on. From time to time on the project or at the end of the project, an audit team will come to audit the work we have done. Let's call it the operational auditors. And they would want to know is, did we follow the procedures? Did we do the work efficiently? Did we waste resources? So we have to make sure that we will be able to pass the audit test that might happen later on as a part of the discipline. And then there are the management directions. The management direction, the vision, mission of the organization or strategies of the organization. Management direction to maintain good relations with the community, for example. Management directions to give a professional create a professional image of our company while we are doing the project in that area. Management direction, that we have to maintain good relations with the community and with the people, with the client, and so on. So they also need to be taken into account, and they also will need some effort. So you see, building a culvert is not simply a question of civil engineering work. It involves taking into account legal, contractual, safety, quality assurance, risk, human aspects, other stakeholders wants, audit, and management directions. These are the various disciplines that we need to know about as they interact with the work that we are doing. And this is what we mean by multidisciplinary aspects. When we say we are oriented towards, our training programs are oriented towards practical job skills, this is what we mean. We mean that when we are discussing about doing the work for civil engineers, including building a culvert, we will also discuss and we'll make sure that the participants understand related legal issues, contractual issues, safety issues, quality assurance issues, risk issues, human aspects, other stakeholders wants, audits, and management directions. Now let me get to some administrative issues about our training programs, face-to-face training programs. If you are attending if you are going to attend a face-to-face programs, the first day of the program is normally we have an introduction to the program topics and other introductions, and we make this presentation that we are hearing just now, program methodology and key concepts. And on the next days, our program timings are usually 8:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon. And this is followed by lunch between 2:30 and 3:30 p.m. The training materials, slides and case studies are given to you in hard copy. These are the materials that you have to consult during the presentations. And these are the case studies that you have to work on. So these are given to you in hard copy. And most of the reading materials, reference materials is provided to you on a flash disk or on a soft copy. It can be provided on hard copy if you so request in advance. And the soft copies are provided to you at the end of the program. Certificates are provided to you at the end of the program. Generally, a mobile phone policy is you must keep your mobile phones on silent mode during the program at a minimum. Please strictly no texting during the program. If you have to, please go out of the meeting room to read or answer text messages, but no text reading and answering during the program. Our recommendation, of course, is please keep your phone switched off during the program so that you don't get distracted and you don't distract other people during the program. Thank you in advance for that. Our policy about questions. Please feel free to ask questions at any time during the program. You can stop me in the middle. You can stop any instructor in the middle, ask him the question if the question is relevant to the topic being discussed or is somehow related to the topic. The instructor may, of course, inform you if that answer to that question is going to follow in subsequent presentations anyway. Or he may answer the question, or he may answer the question the next day. If you want to ask questions in writing, there are slips on the table. You can use those slips, write the question in writing, and we'll try to answer it on the next day. Attending these programs provides you both manager and leadership skills. Remember, what are manager skills? Manager skills are those skills that you need in order to perform your job description, Manager skills are those skills that you need to meet your operational targets. Manager skills are those skills that you need to do a satisfactory job. And leadership skills. What are leadership skills? Leadership skills are the skills that you need on your job that will give you the good things in life. Typically, leadership skills give you recognition, career advancement, promotion, self-satisfaction, and maybe improved lifestyle. It is the objective of your training to make these as the best training programs you have ever attended. We are sure you have attended many training programs, but we want to make these as the best ones as far as career advancement is concerned. You will go away with many practically useful improvement ideas for your career, for your work, improvement ideas for your department and your organization. And applying what you have learned could take your job performance to a level of excellence expected from experienced professionals. Why do we say experienced professionals? Because remember, multidiscipline. Your training programs are all about multidiscipline expertise. And we said multidiscipline expertise usually comes by 5, 10, 15 years of rich job experience. So we try to provide you that experience by substituting that experience by making you familiar, aware, and knowledgeable about the multidiscipline skills you need in order to perform your job. And remember, each participant will take away an individualized action plan that he can put into practice on his job or environment if he so desires. So it is our objective of all our programs that by the end of the program, the participants will prepare an individualized action plan. The individualized action plan we start preparing from module 1 itself. And gradually, the details in the individual action plan increases as you go into module 2, module 3, and module 4, the leadership. But this action plan is the agreed changes which the participant has agreed that he is going to implement or he will want to implement in his work area or in the way he does the work or his performance. And we also suggest whichever module or training program you attend, try and build a relationship with your expert instructors so that he agrees to become your mentor and he can assist you with the problems that you'll face in your work area or may provide you life-changing suggestions, act as a mentor for the next 1 year. We do offer this 1-year mentoring service free, subject to the instructor agreeing to become your mentor. So you have to build a relationship with the instructor in order for him to agree to become your mentor. And that could be also a big help for you in terms of changing your whole career and your life. And those people who are watching this introduction and who have not registered for any program yet, what we would like to say to them is, take this opportunity, attend a year training program, and feel the difference it makes to your career and life. Attending these programs can change your way of thinking about work and about life. It will change, of course, change your level of knowledge in your domain area, because it will provide you that multidisciplinary understanding and understanding of what it takes to succeed in your domain of work. So level of knowledge, when we say level of knowledge of the various multidisciplinary aspects, understanding what it takes to succeed is how to provide leadership in your work area and make a positive difference to your work environment. And also, as you provide leadership and other things, you would be making a positive difference in your work area. Thank you. Thank you very much. From your Training Global Limited. Wish you a best of health and stay safe. Thank you. Okay. One more thing we have to ask about. One more thing we have to think about is, as we go back to as we come to the end of today's program,